Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So in this video, we are going to build our first Power Apps from scratch using SharePoint site as a data source. So by end of this video, we'll have working Power App checklist. I'm going to show you like how exactly our project is going to look like. So this is the Power App which we are going to create at the end of this video. This app have the view which is basically pulling the data from SharePoint site. This is the SharePoint site which we have created in the previous video. Do check out my previous video for more details. This is the data which I have added to display the data into the checklist. I have added task name, status, priority, and so on and so far. Here I'm able to see all the checklist which is already in the data source. And here I have few options, which is if I select on any of the checklist, I have a display view where I can see all the related details. I also have option to update task. If I click on update task, it will allow me to update the selected checklist. Here I can add, remark, and click on submit. It will update my existing checklist. So this was the checklist which I have selected, and if you see now, it has added the remark. By clicking on create task, it will allow you to create a new task. While clicking on submit, it will create a new record and new task in the checklist. So this is all we are going to create at the end of this video. So let's start with the development. So here I am in the Power Apps development environment. Just click on create new. You will have multiple options to select from. Just click on create from blank. We are going to create a Canva app. So this is how the UI looks like. So by default, it will create a screen where you have to add all the controls to start with. You have to add the data source, which we are going to proceed. So here in this case, we have the task, employee task, and we are going to add the data source. Screen is basically which is the foundation of the Power App, where we add controls, build logics, and basically to create a UI for the user. So let's first proceed with the data source. So here in the left panel, you can click on data. You can click on add, SharePoint. Here you have to select the existing SharePoint site. So I'm going to proceed with the task. Now I have added the data source, so I can begin with the development now. So this is the screen, which is a blank screen. On the right side, you have multiple options, which is save and preview. Currently, there is nothing to preview. Click on insert. We'll add a label first. We can see the basic properties like the font size, the font width, style of the text, and the alignment of the text, etc. You can change the property of this control, like you can change the background color, you can change the color and the text size and the font and style and everything. So we'll just create a label quickly. We'll add the color. We'll do a fill. Just change the fill to color dot sky blue. Okay, now the text property is we can keep it as 15. We can make it bold. Let's keep it 30. And the change the text property of this control to checklist. Okay, so this is how we create a label. Just like that, we have multiple control. So currently I'm going to add a, a gallery to display what exactly we are going to work on. So gallery is basically to display the data from the backend. So as we have selected task data source, it will display if it can display everything in your data source. Uh, and how exactly it works is that it trigger and it iterate each item from the SharePoint site. If you see currently it does not have everything in line, so we have to make sure that everything is in line, which we have to add. So just click on insert, add label. This has added this item dot due date. This item basically refer to the current selected item. Let's add another control. So you can add as many control as you want. Just have to make sure that whatever is required on the screen, you add that only. So whenever you are adding a control, you make sure that you are adding it into the gallery and not to the screen. So this is my gallery control, and you have to be added. You need to add that control inside the gallery to work as expected. Currently this control does not have a proper naming, and it is not reflecting any detail. So we can change to this item dot task name, and you can obviously work on alignment as you want. You can do modification in the gallery. So there are gallery property. You can select the template fill and change the color of this template. We'll just select light blue. So this is how we create a gallery. Now we are going to create a form. So just click on insert, add a form control to it. So we are going to add edit form. Select the data source. This is the entire form. Just drag it and move to the right. Now in the on the right side you can see different form property. Currently it has 3 columns in line, so we can just select it to 1 or 2. We can just minimize the screen. Cool. So now what we are going to do is we will remove all the unnecessary details from the form, and we will just keep it whatever is required. Here we are going to map the items from the gallery to this form, so that whatever we select in the gallery, it will display the same thing in the form as well. So for that, what we have to do is just select the entire form. So we'll select the form, and it has a property called item. So currently there is nothing in the item, and the mode of this form is edit. Gallery 1 dot select it. That's all you have to do. So gallery 1 referring to this gallery, and select it basically whatever you select in this gallery. So let us try playing this app. Just whatever I select, it will automatically change whatever on the form. Okay, so the next is how we are going to add buttons and make it little dynamic. So let's just make this green. little dynamic. So what we are going to do is just minimize the size of this gallery and make a space for our buttons. So what we are going to do now is we are going to insert buttons to the screen, which is called button. You can always rename and change the property like text and color, the background color, etc. Going to name it as create checklist. Going to copy it and create another button. Name it as update checklist. We are going to add one more button and we'll place it over here. Just reduce the size. We'll rename it to submit. So we have just added the submit button and update checklist. Now we will see how to create a new checklist. So what we are going to do is, so if you just clearly see the form status, so I have selected this form and the status of this form is as a default mode is edit. But what we have to do is we have to change this to new. How we can do that? How we can do that on the selection of a button. So let's just see how we can do that. So just click on create checklist. Select property is basically on the selection of the button, it can do some actions. So we'll do new form and form name. That's all you have to do. And submit. On the click of the submit button, so basically we'll do submit form 1. So now this is referring to it. And once we submit it, so whenever we click on submit button, the default behavior of this form is going to change to view. So what we are going to do is view form and the name of the form. Update checklist will be what it is going to do. It will update the checklist. So on select, we'll do edit form 1. So the default property will be view. Now let's play the app. So once you click on any of the item, it will reflect all the detail. If you see there is something missing, which is it's not reflecting the real name, so you can always find out these kind of issue which you have to figure out how you can fix it. So click on this edit control and you can see it is selected as claim. Display name is basically the name of the person. So now if you see it is working as expected. Now let's check how it's working or not. Let's click on update checklist. If you see this is already filled up and just try updating something. Test and just change the priority to medium and submit. This has already updated. Now let's check the other option, which is create checklist. If you see it has removed everything. If you now select anything of any of this item, it won't reflect here because you have clicked on create checklist. Click on submit. Voila! And now it has been added already, if you see. So this is how you create. And if you see, there is one error which is read only mode, and that you may can check why it is happening. So basically the form you are trying to submit is read only because by mistake I have clicked on it multiple times. So this functionality I have showed in the app, that how we can disable it if this form is in view mode. Let's check that out, how we can do that. So on the on select property, and how we can change the visibility of this button. So there is one property called visible. So currently it is true, there is no logic to it. So we will change this to if. So we are going to apply a simple if else logic. So if the form is in edit mode, only then, or only when the form is in create mode, only then that submit button will be enabled, otherwise it will be disabled. Currently this is automatically enabled. What we have to do to make it disable if the form is in view mode? So currently if I click on any of this, just click on submit, and it has disappeared. View checklist, submit, it will disappear. Create checklist, it will again come up. So that's what we have to do. So what I have done is go to the submit form. Here on the visible property of this form, I have changed the visibility of this form, which is if the form mode is edit only, then only the submit button can be visible to the user, otherwise it cannot be visible to the user. So to summarize this, we have created a gallery which hold and used to display the data in from the data source. We have a form which can be used to create a new record, or update the existing record, or delete a record from the data source. Then we have discussed about the form submission, like how exactly we can change or update the existing record. So we have used form submit method and followed by the form name. Again, we discussed how to change the mode of the form and update the form. So if this is your first time, take a pause and do the implementation first and then move further. So this was all about this video, and we'll see in the next video how to automate and notify user about any kind of update, or if the status of the record or the checklist has been updated. So that's all for this video. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.